Hey, my name is Steve Andrews, and in this video, I'm going to, wait for it, prepare you to identify and to avoid the top reason for business failure online. And I promise you that it's going to surprise you. And in just a couple minutes, I'm going to whip out my secret weapon here, and I'm going to show you my number one strategy for how to overcome this failure trap. And when I tell you what it is, it's going to delight you because it's a pretty easy fix. And it's basically something you already know how to do, okay? So, welcome to the 2021 Change-a-thon. This is a live event that I'm putting on this page throughout the year 2021. And the objective is to build the emotional and the mental strength to not just survive, but to thrive in the world that is changing all around us very quickly. So be sure and subscribe and come back. And these changes can be really good news for those of you who are looking to start or to grow a side hustle into something that is scalable and to something that is sustainable for the long term. You're now watching Rise Above the Clutter. Now, I am living proof that it can be very difficult to change. But in my case, I changed my entire life completely from the inside out. And I'm also living proof that it can be done and that it's worth it, right? But I know from experience now, especially, that it's easier when you have the right mentorship. It's easier when you have the right roadmap. And it's definitely easier when you're surrounded with a group of people who are properly incentivized to make sure that you get permanent success. I'm talking about real success. Now, I have multiple college degrees in psychology, and I have several business degrees. I spent 15 years as a university marketing professor. And when I started my business part-time online, it didn't take me long. And this, again, was back in 2013. It didn't take me long to figure out that, you know what, man, this is where it's at, right? I believe that this is where the opportunity is going to be for individuals, especially in small businesses. You know, shops closing up everywhere, businesses, offline businesses, way too expensive to start. Right? And the training that I got in the online space, even the bad training, was better than what I'd had in textbooks, man, right? That was a real clue for me, okay? But it was tough. It was difficult. And it was not easy like I thought it was going to be. A marketing professor? No, I still had to start, basically I had to start over, man. I had to learn some new skills, right? I had to keep from quitting, which I did because I wanted to change my life more than I wanted to run back to my comfort zone, okay? All right, but after all this, it's time for me to reveal the number one failure trap. And again, I have the benefit of hindsight here, right? And this is the biggest mistake that I see beginners making. And here it comes. Listen up, right? Pay attention. The biggest mistake that I see people making is that they forget, or maybe they never learned in the first place, that business is a human activity. And yes, that does include the internet, where we are using technology and we're also using the power of automation, right? It's still a human activity. And what beginners do that I see is the tendency to hide behind the technology, to try and use the technology as a crutch instead of using it as a tool to reach more people more efficiently, okay? So, look, man, everybody loves a good system, and I've been dabbling in the internet since the late 90s, 2000s. I started my quote-unquote real business in 2013, but even as far back as the late 1990s, when this whole internet thing first started, I've been hearing forever how easy it is online. All you got to do is slap up a web page. You don't got to do any real work, right? And the money's just going to dump in your bank account. The dot-com bust, one of the big reasons for the infamous dot-com bust in the late 90s, early 2000s is that businesses thought that, hey, customer service and all this kind of stuff doesn't matter anymore, right? They learned the hard way, and to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars in lost revenue and income, that no, this human stuff matters. It still matters. Everybody loves a good system, but everybody can be easily sort of convinced that, hey, you don't got to do any work. You can just plug into something like this that's built for you and automatically have success. No, right? Now, this guy's got a great system. This is my man back here. He's the symbol of what it means to work smart. But he had to work hard first to position himself to have that system, okay? So you still got to do a little bit of work, right? Now, it is time for me to reveal to you the number one failure. Well, I already revealed. It's time for me to reveal you how to avoid the number one failure trap. Sorry, man, I'm getting behind myself. All right, let me get caught up here. All right, here it is. Let me pull my secret weapon out. I'm going to show you how to avoid this failure trap. All right, so the secret weapon is a workbook, okay? And this is a workbook that has 67 different secrets outlined in order. And it literally is just as simple as going through this thing in order. You can create something that can grow as large as your imagination will allow, right? And what I'm doing in this space, we have different content every day of the week in the Change-a-thon. And this is the day of the week where I reverse engineered stuff that I've already done, right? And just to show you like how simple this stuff is, okay? So the first step, there's a couple pieces to it. And right away, you get to do the thing that I told you about before. It's the human thing. You know, you remember you're dealing with people. But the cool thing about the online space is that in ways that you've never done before, you get to choose who you work with. Think about it. You didn't get to choose your parents, which means you didn't get to choose your uncles and brothers and cousins. You didn't get to choose your classmates. You don't get to choose who you work with if you get a job. I was a professor. I didn't get to choose my students. So we spend most of our life learning how to make the best of what we're given, and that's fine, right? But it's even better when you can choose, okay? And choosing this process it starts with, of course, assuming that these people are going to want to buy your product, okay? It starts with the product need, but it's more than that. You get to, think about it. If you ever end up meeting these people face to face, they would want to share some characteristics with you. It could be an outlook on life, could be a hobby, it could be whatever's important to you. Depends on on your situation, right? But it's more than just a product need. It's like, man, we connect with each other because this is how you create long-term customers. This is how you create something that's sustainable. It's fun for you. It's fun for them, right? So I wrote out what we call an avatar, which is my ideal female and male customer. And I know you can't read this, so I'm going to switch cameras again because I typed it up because I want to show you how this works, right? Watch this. All right. Okay. So here's my ideal female avatar. I'm going to read this for you. I couldn't decide on a first name, but Helen Jessica enjoys art and music, most likely performed in her life, probably when she was younger. She's a runner now, pretty regimented with workouts and eating, values personal growth more than money. She enjoys her indulgences, but she's not ruled by these urges. She's pushed in a safe, conventional direction her whole life by well-meaning parents, but she's got the courage and the fire to resist that and to break away from that. Now, that said, my message of safety that I present in terms of process is going to appeal to her because her parents, as well as her own experiences with skill-based performances, have taught her that fundamentals and basics and universals are real and they do matter a great deal, okay, as opposed to shiny objects and always seeking variety, all right? So that's my female avatar. And here's my male avatar, who is Chris or Christian. Chris is cerebral. He's quiet. He's calm. He's got that thoughtful look on his face. He's a thinker. And he does value learning. He's definitely into playing sports like tennis and golf. He's into challenging himself. He's got the kind of hobbies that require immersion, not these quick fix highs like gambling. He wants to be independent and very much has a drive to be a front man, i.e. the leader of something big, but he is frustrated by the numerous roadblocks that exist in the mediocrity machine, like going to college, getting a job. He's not a conformist, but he's had to do that to get by, and he's ready to break away from that. So some people might look at him on the surface and they'd make the mistake of thinking he's angry or disconnected or unmotivated, okay? All right, so you see how that works, right? I'm talking about things that drive people on the inside, and these are things that connect to the product that I'm promoting, the service I'm promoting. And here's some things I didn't say, but they would be perfectly valid. Some people in the industry, like education, want to start your own side hustle. Some of you are motivated by material things, right? You want a big house. You want that nice car. You want to buy things like fancy colleges for your kids, right? Or you want to travel. You want to live on beaches. Okay, see, these are all perfectly valid, but these are not the things that drive me. So I'm connecting to the people who are more process-oriented, think like athletes, right? Because these are the people who are going to stick with it and get that long-term growth, and they understand that results don't just come magically, In fact, the only thing that's not legitimate, in my opinion, is to get rich quick, right? The people who just don't want to have to work at all, just want the results. That's the only thing that I think is, not worth sticking around. But think about what drives you, right? And then you can connect to your customers in the same way, right? So there's a relationship there in that regard. Now, the next phase of step one is you got to think about, well, how are you going to attract your customers, and then what are you going to do for them, okay? Right? And that's what I wrote out in these steps. And that brings me to what's down below this video. Right? For the people who are interested in building your mindset, I have a free Facebook group and a 30-day challenge. It's all around building the mental and emotional habits that help you succeed more in part with dealing with, the uncertainties of life, for example, right? But also just giving you a perspective of how winners think. And I also have resources for the people who want to start and grow a side hustle. And it is this roadmap back here, right? It's a process going to walk you through decisions that you have to make. First step, second step, third step. If you don't have a product to promote yet, I can help you with that. I'm also a coach. So within those resources, you'll find out about how I can coach people personally, because that's how you get done faster, man. You get it done faster when you got people there to help you, right? To skip all the mistakes that I've made. So it's a bundle of resources. It's a Facebook group. It's a PDF and a series of videos, right, that can help you if you're the right person, if you need my product, and if you're interested in working with me personally, then you can read about it below, click the link, and I'll see you on the next page, and you can register for free. Now, that having been said, I look forward to seeing you in the next video here in the Change-a-thon, right, where we're going to learn more about how to avoid the top reasons for business failure in the online space. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.